Yo, what's good YouTube, man? It's Gary with the Fan TV, man. Back at you with the video. Like the content, this video, go and smash that like button, like the content of this channel. Go and subscribe, man. Look, so coming to you at midnight, the Ravens just lost the first game of the season, man. 27-20 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all probably see this video in the morning time. Yeah, man, we're gonna talk about the game. Get some players that stood out, get my overall thoughts about the game, man. So we just gonna hop right into it, all right? First thing I want to say is that I thought the refs were pretty bad tonight, and I hate being the kind of fan that talks about referees when their team loses, right? I really hate being that kind of fan, right? I do. But at the end of the day, right? When I watch preseason football, okay, preseason, regular season, obviously very different. Just like regular season and postseason, very different. The emphasis on illegal formations, right, for the offensive line was not harped on during the preseason, right? The Ravens lined up the exact same way all preseason. We get to the first game of the season, we come out 3 penalties on the first drive, right? Chiefs get the ball. Jawan Taylor is lined up even worse than Ronnie Stanley is. He doesn't get flagged for that at all, okay? Um, Steve Spagnuolo calls a timeout when assistant coaches aren't allowed to call timeouts. The timeout gets granted, no big deal, nothing happens. That should be a penalty, okay? The soft holding call or soft roughing the passer call on Matabike or Nabi Matabike, okay? For me, another soft holding call on Tyler Linderbaum, right? As soon as the guy turns, it's like this, he lets go, right? So the referees are not why the Ravens lost this game, right? But they were bad tonight. That's just my opinion on it. All right. Okay, so now let's talk about the actual game, man. So offensively, let's start with the offense, then do the defense. Okay, offensively, right? The offensive line struggled all night long. Okay, we're gonna be very, very open and honest with it, right? The offensive line showed tonight, right, why I do not like the rotating of tackles. Okay, um, you have a set five offensive linemen, play them. Okay, Rosengarten should be the starter from here on out, and that's not even nothing against Patrick McCary, right? Because as soon as Rosengarten came in for his snap off the rotation, Chris Jones came in, sacked Lamar Jackson, strip sack. Okay, so it's not even about who played better. It's about continuity. When the Ravens were forced to rotate Ronnie Stanley in and out, that's because Ronnie Stanley was injured. You should not be rotating offensive linemen in and out just because you can do it. That's not how offensive line play works. All right. The Ravens need to. If the Ravens are going to go with this approach that we have young, new offensive linemen, let them play together. This rotate in and out is foolishness. Stop it. Either pick McCary or pick Rosengarten. I would prefer you pick Rosengarten. Okay, and let the rookie get the snaps. Stop it. All right. But first drive of the game, I thought that Derrick Henry looked really good, right? Now, Derrick Henry, to me, has always been the kind of running back where he gets billed as a power running back, right? And he has power when he gets to the open field, right? But you got to give him run lanes to that, right? If you meet Derrick Henry in the backfield, you might be able to stop him. But if you meet Derrick Henry 5 yards, 7 yards down the field, head of steam going, now he can run you over, right? I didn't feel like Derrick Henry got enough runways tonight to really get going, all right? But he scored tonight. I thought the Ravens did a. He got 13 carries and 46 yards. I won't say the Ravens abandoned the run game, but they definitely could have ran the ball more. I think it's also a simple fact that they didn't trust this offensive line to create the running lanes like I'm talking about. So Lamar Jackson, which is the second guy I want to talk about here, was superhero mode tonight, right? Lamar Jackson was flat out amazing for most of the night, right? I think that I will say this: if I had one criticism for Lamar Jackson tonight, right, is that, and it's understandable why he did this, okay, is that he doesn't trust his offensive line so much that I think he was bailing too early sometimes, right? I remember a play they showed from the quarterback angle, right? Rashad Bateman's coming open on the curl route, right? But Lamar Jackson's already made up his mind. He's bailing. Now Lamar Jackson picks up the first down on this play, so no harm, no foul. But just because of the way the offensive line was playing, this forced Lamar Jackson to play in a certain way, right? But I will say this: Lamar Jackson put it all on the line tonight. You would have thought this game really was the AFC Championship game again. He wanted to win this one badly, right? So 100% respect to Lamar Jackson. He showed why he's a two-time MVP. He showed why it's Patrick Mahomes and then him, two best quarterbacks in the league, going at it, right? That's my opinion on it. I would never change that, okay? Second guy, Isaiah Likely has to be mentioned, right? Isaiah Likely was a flat-out baller tonight. He ended up with Nine catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown, right? He almost had two touchdowns. So we could be talking about 10 catches, 120 yards, two touchdowns for Isaiah Likely if he wore a half size down, right? This is pretty much Kevin Durant, Nets versus Bucks in the playoffs. This is pretty much what that all over again, right? So Isaiah Likely was a baller tonight, right? I'm not going to get too high or low about week one, right? But I will say some things that I did not like about the Ravens offense tonight. Okay, so like I said, the offensive line play was one, right? Um, Two, right? There are too many screens and design touches for Zay Flowers once again, right? The Ravens did this early in the season last year where they would just overly look for Zay Flowers on, screen passes, drags, hitches, jet sweeps, talk like it's too much. He's a really good player. Let him play wide receiver, right? He got down the field on an over route, first and second quarter of the game. Boom, Lamar just hit him on the chest. Let Zay Flowers do more of that, okay? We don't have to force feed him touches, all right? He's going to get touches because he's a good wide receiver and he's going to get open. Let's leave it at that, all right? Nelson Aguilar missed a very, very important block on fourth down in the second quarter of that game, right? That would have been an easy first down. I still didn't like the play call, but I like the Ravens' aggressiveness to go for it, okay? So for me, stop force feeding the touches, okay? Also, if the 12 personnel thing is going to work, right, you have to find a way to get Mark Andrews more involved. Now, once again, I'm not going to overreact. Mark Andrews is coming off of the car accident, and he's coming off of an injury that the Ravens really didn't disclose all that well, right? So to me, Mark Andrews might not be 100% ready to go tonight. So that could be some of the reasons where his target share was a lot lower. Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about that. All right. We'll leave it there. So for the Ravens now, offense, they can't survive like this if Lamar Jackson's gonna have to play hero ball, right? The other guys have to step up, and Lamar has to trust these guys to step up. That's going to start with the offensive line, right? Select a five, go with that five, and let them work it out, right? To me, they started for Lele tonight. Excuse me, or Falele. That was a mistake. Okay, the Ravens are trying to develop him. He's not ready. He cannot play in these games. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, give Ben Cleveland a shot there. Falele might do a little bit better job pass protected, but not really. But the run blocking for a guy that big, he just doesn't get pushed off the ball. It just doesn't happen for him. All right. Get Ben Cleveland in there. Get Roger Rosengarten in there. I'm not saying this magically fixes the Ravens offensive line, but that's the five I want to see rolled out there. Okay. Stanley, Voorhees, Linderbaum, Cleveland, Rosengarten, and let's play. All right. If somebody gets hurt down the line, McCary come in and fill in. All right. That's what I want to see. All right. Another player I want to mention, Justice Hill, was always an available option out the backfield for Lamar Jackson. Makes a very, very key plays tonight. So Ravens offense, I believe, is similar to week one last year versus the Texans. Very sloppy. All right, they need to get some rhythm. Like I said, this reminds me a lot of week one last year versus Houston, where it was just disjointed. Okay, but unlike the Texas game, you're not going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs playing that way, right? You're not going to beat Patrick Mahomes and then playing that way. It's just not going to happen. Okay. I will say this: I was disappointed in the Ravens timeout usage, especially in the second half, leaving them with only one timeout. When they really, really needed timeouts, right? But it really did end up costing them. Disappointed in that. Now let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Okay. Okay. One second. Sorry, I got a little bit of the allergies going. You hear me sniffling. So, defensive side of the ball. Okay. What I want to say is, first and foremost, you got to give Zach Orr time, right? I know there's going to be a lot of Ravens fans that's going to kill Zach Orr for the game plan, for certain things that the Chiefs were doing over and over again with no adjustment from the Ravens. We got to remember Mike McDonald's first 8-9 games with the Ravens, right? The Dolphins game is in there. The crazy comeback. There's other games in there that are very, very disappointing efforts on defense, right? To me, this game wasn't that, right? It was certain little schematical things that the Chiefs took advantage of that the Ravens didn't adjust to, right? For example, the fact that Rashee Rice kept being lined up on three different Ravens linebackers, right? That's something that the Chiefs sat out to do, and the Ravens didn't adjust to it, all right? Rashee Rice had, let me look at Rashee Rice's stats, hold on. 7 catches for 103, all right? At least 5 of those catches were on Ravens linebackers, okay? He got Roquan over the middle of the field multiple times. Trenton Simpson did break up a pass, but he got him a couple times, and then one time he got Malik Harrison. Why Malik Harrison is anywhere in the vicinity of Rashee Rice, I do not know. Okay, but we got to give Zach Orr time. He's a rookie defensive play caller. We got to give him time. All right. If we gave, I was hard on Mike Macdonald early. Mike Macdonald turned to be a great coordinator, right? So that's told me give these guys grace and see what they got, see how they deal with adversity. Okay. So I'm gonna say that. All right. The defensive line, I thought they got after it. All right, I really did. Travis Jones was highly impressive tonight. David Ajabo had a couple plays where he was shot out of a cannon off the edge, right? Really a sack specialist, okay? Odafe got back there a couple times. I thought Odafe, once again, you get next to a quarterback, you got to bring him down, bro. He missed Patrick Mahomes. That led to a big play down the field. You got to bring him down, all right? Nandi Matabike. Matabike did his thing, all right? He got there back there a couple of times, especially on stunts, right? Which is something that we've seen, from McDonald that Zach Orr's carrying over. He got one roughing the passer call that I really didn't like, but it is what it is on that. So I thought the Ravens defense was okay. They had that really, really bad blown coverage where Marlon Humphrey clearly expected the safety to be over top, and either he was wrong or the safety was wrong. We don't know, okay? But that happened, all right? So a lot of week one things happened to the Ravens today. But I will say this, right? The Ravens have to be better at controlling and being disciplined in games, right? They can't allow penalties to take them over, right? The offensive line penalties are frustrating because of just the emphasis on them, but not for the Chiefs, right? Because what Ryan Stanley was doing and what Jawan Taylor was doing, like I mentioned earlier, was not any different, but only one guy was getting called for flags. But the Ravens have to be disciplined, right? You know what I mean? So they can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, okay? They have to be disciplined, right? So for a first game of the season, it is disappointing to lose, right? This is why I said this is not a revenge game, okay? Because if the Ravens come out here and lose how they lost today, right? Is the season over? We didn't get our revenge on KC. Is it done with? No, it's week one. The Ravens have 16 more games to go, all right? So I said this again to set the tone, right? I think the Ravens could have did a better job with that, right? I would like to see Derrick Henry some more. If you want to bring Derrick Henry in, 13 carries is honestly not enough, especially for a guy like him who's kind of a rhythm back who needs to get in rhythm to get going. But at the end of the day, the offensive line just didn't create those running lanes like I'm talking about, all right? So Lamar Jackson, all the talk of having a new running back in here, he was the leading rusher again, 16 carries, 122 yards for Lamar Jackson, all right? So Lamar Jackson on the game has 395 yards of total offense just by himself, okay? The Ravens cannot depend on this formula again, all right? They can't go down this road again, all right? But I will say this, right? It looks like the QB run game is going to be a very, very central part of the offense once again. It looks like zone read is going to be really back again. I will say this, right? I love Lamar's competitive fire. Like I said, he was playing this game like it was the AFC Championship game. We got 16 more games to go, bro. Get down, slide. These are things that I usually don't have to say about Lamar Jackson, right? Because he doesn't usually take this many hits. He took a lot of hits today, all right? But, all in all, I was disappointed with the Ravens' execution because, like I said, week one last year versus the Texans, they were very sloppy, and I felt like they were sloppy in this game as well. But they fought, and it's week one. All right. If the Ravens would have won this game, 28-27, because they were going for, if Isaiah likely comes down in bounds, they're going for two. Harbaugh's always signaling from the sideline to go for two, right? So they're going for two to try to win this game, right? So the Ravens win this game 28-27. I would probably, my tone would probably be a little bit happier, but it would still be along the same lines, right? It's week one, right? We didn't win or lose the AFC Championship game tonight. We didn't win or lose Super Bowl tonight, okay? So we'll see where it goes from there, right? But, the Ravens definitely have a lot of things to work out. And, give me your thoughts on the game. I'm going to pot all comments, but I'm going to get out of here. It's Gabriel, to the Fan TV. I'm out.